Am I the asshole for wanting to get back together with my ex-husband after leaving him for another guy? Jake and I have known each other since high school and began our relationship in our sophomore year. We got married shortly after graduating. We're both 24 now. 2 years ago, I started a new job and met Rod. Our office cubicles are next to each other, and we have found ourselves talking with each other when we're not on the phone with clients, and we've learned a lot about each other. Rod is older and in an open marriage. I thought nothing of it at the time, but as time went by, I began feeling differently. Rod and I were both invited to a retirement party for our boss's boss at a really nice restaurant at the Marriott. Neither of us knew this person very well, but I used it as an opportunity to go on a date. On the day of, I told Jake about this and said I'd be home a little later than usual. He said he was fine with this. Rod and I got a little tipsy and ended up fucking in the back of his car. Rod spent the night at the hotel, and I took an Uber home like I usually do. After that, I realized that, although I still loved Jake, I was no longer in love with him. Eventually, I asked him if he'd be willing to open our marriage. I told him that we were still young and we should try new things. Really, though, I wasn't going to accept no for an answer. I'll admit that I did some things that I am not proud of, but ultimately I got my way. By that, I mean that Jake said that he was going to divorce me, which I was fine with, at least at the time. Fast forward 2 years. Turns out Rod isn't in an open marriage. He was cheating on his wife with me, but was also cheating with several other women. So asked Jake if we could talk. I told him that I was leaving Rod and wanted to see if we could make things work. He said that he still loved me, but after what I did, he was no longer in love with me. I told him that we were older and more emotionally mature now than we were 2 years ago. Jake said that I had plenty of opportunity to change my mind about this before I cheated on him. I asked if he had been with anyone else since our divorce. He said no. I told him that goes to show that he's still in love with me and wants to be with me. He says that's not how it works. I asked if he'd at least think about it. He said yes, but he wasn't making any promises. We've been on a few dates since then, and 2 weeks ago, I actually ended up moving back in with him. I was looking forward to making love like we used to, but he hasn't been in the mood. Then last week, I asked him why he didn't want to have sex. He said that he had always thought it was special how we were our first and only loves when we began dating and had never been with anyone else, but I ruined this when I told him that I wanted to open our marriage. Jake told me he'd feel weird if we were to have sex because now he'd be getting Rod's sloppy seconds, and I'd probably be comparing him to Rod whenever we would be having sex. Granted, I have had more fun in the bedroom with Rod than with Jake, and despite us no longer being in a relationship, we've continued to see each other, and he's even come over a few times while Jake is at work. Jake then asked me if I'd still be wanting to get back together with him if Rod hadn't cheated. I told him that I wasn't sure. He said that this was all he needed to know and to pack my things and get out. I've been staying with a friend since. All my friends are saying that Jake is being unfair, and even my mom said that. While this isn't how I was raised, I clearly had learned my lesson. Jake and all his friends disagree. They have referred to me using some pretty nasty language, which I won't repeat here. Even after I wrote him a long, emotional, Olivia Rodrigo-style love ballad, he still wouldn't take me back, and now he's blocked me everywhere. I know what I did wasn't right, but like I said at the beginning, I was young and wanted to try new things. Now I'm older, tried some new things that didn't work out, and want to go back to how things were. Is this really so unreasonable? Other couples have survived way worse things and have managed to work things out.